In a stunning move just 1 week away from the start of the 2025 NFL season, the Dallas Cowboys has traded away superstar edge rusher Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers in one of the craziest blockbuster trades in the history of the National Football League, at least, especially this close to the start of an NFL season. Welcome into the Commanders Report. I am your host, Jack Sperry. Today we're going to be talking about how this crazy trade affects the Washington Commanders heading into the 2025 season and beyond. But before we get into the content today, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we give you guys daily and free informative Commanders videos. We put out one earlier today. If you want to check it out after today's show, feel free. Also, we have breaking news coverage every single time the Commanders make a big move. We also have weekly live shows, including weekly live watch parties when the Commanders play their football games this year. So make sure you click that subscribe button for free today to help us get closer to 50,000 subscribers. And with that, let's dive in here where ESPN's Adam Schefter reported at pretty much 5 o'clock Eastern on the dot. All right, Cowboys are trading three-time All-Pro linebacker Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. Shortly after that, he puts this out as well. Parsons and the Packers already have reached agreement on a 4-year, $188 million contract. Parsons' agent from Athletes First had a hand in the trade and ultimately negotiating the record-breaking contract that includes $120 million, fully guaranteed at signing, and makes Parsons the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. By the way, if you're bad at math, that is $47 million per season for an edge rusher, clearing the edge rusher and non-quarterback market by almost $7 million where it was previously. So absolutely ginormous deal for Micah Parsons. And when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, guys, I just don't consider them a contender this year. I don't consider them a threat in the division anymore. If you had Micah Parsons, you can really do some great things on defense, even though their run defense probably wasn't going to be great. And Kenny Clark helps that. And we can look at the official trade details here in just a second, but I just don't think that the Dallas Cowboys have a shot this season. I think that, especially with Brian Schottenheimer, I don't believe in him as a head coach. They're not going to have a run game, and now the defense is probably slated to be maybe bottom 5 in the National Football League this year. I don't consider them a good football team, and I would say, maybe they get to 6 wins this year. You guys can take a look at the official trade details here. 2 first-round picks, 2026, 2027, Packers first-round picks going to Dallas. That's not nothing. Plus, you get a good Pro Bowl caliber defensive tackle in Kenny Clark. But now the Packers get to combine Micah Parsons with Rashawn Gary as their new number 2, and then they have Lucas Van Ness as a number 3. I mean, that creates one of the best edge rusher trios in the National Football League there in Titletown. And, of course, Dallas just got a hell of a lot worse on defense. In terms of how it affects the Washington Commanders heading into this season, guys, I would say the 2 games that they play against Dallas obviously just got a bit easier. Now, obviously, you can't, go in there expecting to win or anything like that and, not prepare and stuff like that. But I have no issue with Washington Commanders head coach Dan Quinn getting his guys ready to play. All right. So especially that game on Christmas, all those different things, I really think the Commanders have a good chance to sweep the Dallas Cowboys this year. Now, it's an interdivision game. Who knows, if the Commanders can actually pull that off. These division games can be tough no matter how bad an opponent typically is. But I do feel good about the Commanders' chances now in those 2 ball games. However, your chances of beating the Green Bay Packers in Week 2 just got a lot tougher. And it puts a lot of pressure on this Week 1 matchup that the Commanders have coming up next week versus the New York Football Giants. Because if you lose to Russell Wilson and the Giants and you have trouble with that pass rush, you're going to have trouble with this pass rush too. I mean, you're going up against 2 of some of the best pass rushes in the NFL to start your campaign here in 2025, and Andrew Wiley is going to be out there most likely as your starting right tackle. You're not going to have your starting right guard in Sam Cosmi. Nick Allegretti, who's spent the last several seasons playing left guard, is going to be playing right guard. So, Micah Parsons is going to be lining up against those 2 guys, and then, Abdul Carter will probably be lining up in Week 1. So that's going to be 2 very difficult matchups to start the season. Cliff Kingsbury needs to have plans to get the ball out of Jaden's hands quickly, get Deebo Samuel involved in the screen game, try to get the run game going. because, man, these two pass rushes to start the season, they are dangerous. And even though Jaden Daniels is as good as it gets in terms of pocket presence, in terms of playmaking ability, in terms of rushing ability, escapability, being elusive, all those different things, it's definitely going to be a test these first 2 weeks for this banged-up Commanders offensive line. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you are happy Micah is gone, I know Stephen A. somewhere is just absolutely bawling his eyes out with laughter right now, man. This is probably his magnum opus is probably coming up here. I haven't seen it on social media yet with the laughing. It might be out now, but I mean, goodness gracious, this one's going to be one for the ages here, folks. All right, then we'll move on to the second half of today's video, which is actually pertaining to Kendrick Bourne, who is now a free agent wide receiver after being released by the New England Patriots after this preseason, and he's currently got a free agency visit planned up with the Washington Commanders for Tuesday. He's going to be visiting the 49ers on Monday. He played for the 49ers for many seasons. And I guess we'll just see where he ends up here. But Kendrick Bourne, 30 years old, brings pretty decent size to the table. He has a lot of ties to Adam Peters. Those two know each other from their time in San Francisco with each other. And in terms of the type of receiver Kendrick Bourne is at this point in his NFL journey, he's more of just a decent role player, wide receiver 4 type, more of just a depth piece. But I know Adam Peters thinks very highly of Kendrick Bourne, and pretty much everybody there in San Francisco does. He was a really valuable role player for them. He's a run blocker. He gets open over the middle of the field. He's got tough hands. He's just a reliable guy and just a reliable veteran piece that, these Shanahan-style teams really do appreciate. So, obviously, the Commanders don't run a Shanahan-style offense, but Adam Peters may still want to add that piece here because you got Jalen Lane, you got Luke McCaffrey as kind of your backup receivers as it currently stands on this Commanders roster, and they might not fully trust those guys at this moment, especially with Noah Brown dealing with an injury and has been dealing with an injury for quite a while now. So I wouldn't mind bringing in Bourne at all. It's not necessarily, the fit in terms of the scheme that, Kyle Shanahan ran there in San Francisco. So honestly, the people in San Francisco, John Lynch, Shanahan, all those guys, they love Kendrick Bourne. They might give him an offer he can't refuse, and he might not even make it to Ashburn here, guys. I'm not even going to lie to you. He may sign a contract there on Monday when he has that initial visit to San Francisco, and the Commanders might not even have a shot at him. But if he does get to Ashburn, I would say Adam is going to do everything that he can to try and make him a Washington Commander. We also break down a lot of other rumors that were floating around on Commanders Twitter earlier today. We put out this video talking about Taylor Heineke potentially making a comeback to Washington to replace Josh Johnson as this team's QB3. A Bleacher Report article linked defensive end Kwity Paye to the Washington Commanders in a potential trade. Got a lot of stuff to talk about on that first Commanders video that we put out earlier today. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button and check out that video because this one's over. Thank you guys so much for making time out of your evening here to watch our show here tonight. I think that this is abundantly good news if you are a Washington Commander fan. Micah Parsons is out of the division, which pretty much takes the Cowboys out of the running in the NFC East this year, at least in my opinion. So now it appears it's Commanders versus Eagles for the NFC East crown here in 2025. It's going to be a great battle, and we are going to be covering every second of it right here on the Commanders Report this year. So if you never want to miss a video, you never want to miss a big move, make sure you guys click that subscribe button. Until next time, guys, go raise some hail.